What's happening? What it do though? I'm back like cook crack, you dig? If you know, you know. Nigga been out of commission for a minute, but I'm back. You feel me? Looking good, smelling good, you dig? My phone was fucking up, so I couldn't fucking do my videos. I got me a new one though now. This story right here, I got a story real quick. This one's about this about my first few days in the pen. This shit kind of funny. So this is Mexican dude, and I only know this nigga in jail. Every time I'm in jail, this nigga in jail. Damn near every time he in jail, I come in that bitch. But we know each other like we been homeboys or some shit. Like we was homeboys on the streets or something. We knew each other like that. His name was Smokey. He from the east side. He ain't from no gang. He's just an east sider. The nigga smoke primos. The nigga get high and get to tripping. Always locked up. Been to the pen a grip of times. All that shit. The nigga funny as a motherfucker too. So I always be this nigga. They sent me to medium, and they hold all the federal inmates in medium. So I'm in there with all the niggas that's going to the feds. I'm going to the state pen though. So anyway, I'm in there with my nigga Pee Wee. He from VLT. Free that nigga to his backwards if he ain't home yet. I know they did that nigga dirty. They railroad that nigga for sure. That nigga fucking Discovery's like that big on the set. Shit crazy. They got him with state and fed time. They even tricked this nigga. They said they was gonna roll his state time in with his fed time. But we gonna get to that part later. Me and this nigga, the people we in the section, we chopping it up for months. We both fighting our case or whatever. So we chopping it up, you know. He giving me game about what he was doing on the street. I giving him game on what I was doing with the WAP. Yeah, I used some of that nigga's tactics. Shit. We chopping it up. We becoming real familiar with each other. And he'd be a big dog too. Like he calling shots for his set. I'll never say, you know, I'm a shot caller or any of that shit. But your boy done stamp some shit. You dig me? I'll talk about it in another story. But yeah, they ship him off. We thinking he going to the feds. Like we both thinking this nigga's going to the feds. So when he, you know, we whoopty wop, he go. Now we know he gone. In my head, he gone. You know, I ain't gonna probably never see this nigga again. That's what I'm thinking. Cause last bid he just got out the feds, and he went to the feds like on a 5-year charge, and he ended up doing 10 on that bitch. They end up shipping me off or whatever. I get to my, you know, to my little court hearing, and I low key beat my shit on everything. I knew the court system, and the first thing I always get is my discovery. So I know what I'm doing. My bunkie did help me too though on some shit. Help me write out motions. Yeah, I write motions to all that. I put a motion in to fire my lawyer, and it's a real court hearing. We got to show up just to do that. And when they do it, he was surprised. He didn't even know that I was firing him. He didn't even I don't know, maybe because I think he has to know, but they don't give a fuck. I think it's just a court date. He just showed up because he was tripping, because they was like, yeah, you put in a motion to fire your lawyer, what do you want? And he looks at me, he's like, what? And he's like, man, I'll fight for you, da-da-da. He starts spilling all this bullshit, like, I'm gonna come visit you, da-da-da. He comes and visits me. Like that same day or the next day, he comes and visits, and he's like, I'm gonna fight for you, da-da-da-da. Because at first, I felt like this nigga wasn't rocking. You feel me? I'm like, nigga, we going to the box. Like, tell the prosecutor I don't want to hear no deals, none of that. We going to the box, straight up. And like, I'm innocent. You feel me? We going to the box. I'm innocent. Straight up. Anyway, so he come, he like, all right, I'm with you, we gonna rock and roll. I'm like, all right, hire a private investigator. I can't remember what they worded it, but I think it was just like an armed robbery, fight of lies, mopping everything, jacking everybody. They know on the set, nigga. Like, I ain't ever took it to no slimy mode. Like, nigga, I ain't slimy like that. You feel me? Like, I ain't gonna jack relatives. I ain't gonna jack homies. You know, even if I don't even know you, but this nigga's relative or this nigga homie or girl, I ain't gonna jack you. You feel me? I respect the game. You gotta respect the game. As far as anybody else, it's slimy. I don't give a fuck. Playing the whole role. I held it down. I get jammed up. Boom. I'm in there fighting the bitch, and I put the paper. I told y'all to fire my lawyer. I know a little something about that. Anyway, the deal I ended up getting, because I knew they wanted to send me to prison, but I knew too, because from my discovery, that they didn't get no fingerprints. They ain't got no motherfucking nothing. They don't have shit. Going to trial without a life, and it's not ever no jury. The jury, they say jury your peers, but it ain't gonna be nothing but a gang of Mormon ass white folks that's tired of niggas that look like me shooting up neighborhoods. You feel me? So I was like, fuck that. So with the deal I gave him, I was like, I'll get y'all give me 2 0 to 5s running concurrent. I'll go to the pen right now. I try to get the year and the bounty, but they weren't having it. They was like, yeah, you going for sure. I get that. Well, they didn't want to give me that deal. They wanted to give me They wanted to give me the 2 0 to 5s ran consecutive, which would be a 0 to 10. So I'm like, nah, fuck that. I ain't going for that. So he go talk to him and come back. He like, well, they say they'll do. You plead guilty to the 2 0 to 5s right now. You come back tomorrow and we'll fight for consecutive or concurrent. I'm like, alright, I did that. And we go the next day, you do the whole whoopty wop, shebang. And they gave me the 0 to 10. I knew it was a setup. I didn't even think about that shit till afterwards, like months afterwards in the pen. I was like, motherfuckers got me. They knew they was gonna do that shit. You feel me? You gotta go through R&O when you first get to the pen. And it's just like, basically you on 23-hour lockdown all day until they can find you housing, basically, and get your PSI and all that shit situated. You're gang affiliated. They can't put you with certain gangs, all that gang shit, all that shit. Anyway, I know back in the day, niggas used to be sitting R&O for, man, a year, 2 years. Nowadays, they get you out there 2 weeks easy. But me, I had to stay for 2 months because part of me signing the papers for me to plead guilty, I told him I didn't want to do a PSI because that motherfucking pack is long as fuck. I hate doing that shit. I can't stand it. I've done that shit 100 times. So I'm like, man, I don't want to do that damn PSI. And he's like, yeah, you good. But you gotta do a PSI. There ain't no way around no fucking PSI. So that made me stay there for 2 months. So anyway, I'm in there. And at first, they put me in a section with the Damu homies. So nothing but Damu's in there. And my bunkie, a Florida nigga, he from Florida. And he stayed in my bunkie the whole time through R&O. He was in there for a minute too. I can't remember why he was in there for a while, but he was in there for a minute with me. He left like a couple weeks before me though. Man, I had that nigga spooked too. I had that nigga spooked. Cause he was like, yeah, I've been in prison in Florida. It ain't all the gang politics and da like out here. I'm like, yeah, nigga, it's active, nigga. The essay's gonna be on your ass, nigga. Especially if you ain't clicked up, nigga. I don't bang, man. I just wanna do my time and go home, man. I had that nigga spooked. We in there. I'm with the Bloods, we politicking the whole nine, checking paperwork, all that shit. Pass my paperwork in too, stamped, you dig? They ended up moving me because all the Bloods, they come to my section, they come to my cell. I got everybody working out, we checking, we running the politics how we supposed to run the politics, you dig? But it ain't like, oh, I'm the big homie, even though niggas is trying to function with me and telling me what blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so they moved me and my bunkie to next door. And then after they moved me, there's only a few people over there. Then they start moving all these essays in. Then they start moving all these Crips in. But let's first get to the essays. So they moved the essays in first. And they put them on my yard. Because they left 4 cells out at a time. And they put them on my yard. And so when they pop the doors, guess who it is? Pee-wee. Yeah, this nigga went to the feds. My nigga right here, though. Like, okay. Boom, we we chopping it up. Another essay nigga pop out, and Pee-wee like nigga, this the homie, woo woo woo. So we functioning, and the guards like, what the fuck? They tripping. And then like 2-3 days after that, they pop the doors again. I'm asleep. Wake up in the morning, they pop the doors. Guess who it is? My Mexican homie Smokey. That nigga in this bitch. He come by the door like, money, what's happening? Like, nigga, was bragging, nigga. He like, nigga, you finally made it out here, nigga. Yeah, he's like, nigga, don't be stingy in that motherfucker either. He said, you better buy the best shit up in here, man. Don't be being stingy with yourself, nigga. That actually helped me break myself from being so stingy, though. Once I did that shit. He in there. They see us functioning. That go on for about probably 2 weeks, probably a week or two. They moved me upstairs. Now it's nothing but Crips. They moved nothing but Crips in this bitch. TCGs and shit. And before we even come out on the yard, a TC, he comes to my door. And he's like, hey, you remember me? And I told him, nah, but I did remember him. He's like, yeah, you ran to me at the tracks. You was with your girl and asked you for a big. He said cigarette, of course. But he's like, yeah, I asked you for a big. And you gave it to me. He's like, that's what's up, homie. I'm like, yeah, that. And that was that with that. So when I hit the yard with the Crips, it was boo. You feel me? So the guards, they tripping. After that, man, they got me out of RNO ASAP. I was in there too with the homie, what's his name? Damn, they smoked my nigga too. Fuck. Miami. I was in there with the homie Miami. Yeah, that's my nigga, man. His brother in there doing like 15 to life or something for a body. And he's like, now I'm trying to go get where my brother at. And I ended up doing it like a year or two with his brother before I got out. I think he made it out there for like a week. And then they shipped him off somewhere. It's fucked up. But then we both ended up getting out. He got smoked just down the street from my crib too. By a dope fiend. He got smoked by a dope fiend. They said the person, I read the report, and they said that the nigga said something to the dude. I can't remember what he said to him. It was in there. And the dude, because the girl snitched that he was with. She told us like, yeah, he wouldn't let it go. And he's like, I'm gonna do this, do that, I guess, and flipped around. And I think he emptied the whole clip on the homie. No, rest in peace to Miami. My nigga for sure. Free that nigga brother to his backwards. It was wild how that RNO shit played out. I hit the main line, I ran into Pee Wee, the homies, all that shit. You dig? Yeah. Tap in with your boy. Hey, we on now. I'm gonna keep them coming. Stay on your toes. Don't let them get too close. I'm out.